Manchester United Football Club. I'm really disappointed. Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. Let's get straight into it. The game started out well. First 15 minutes, we looked sharp. We looked like we're carrying on the momentum from the Arsenal game. It looked great, according to me, at least in my personal opinion. But the same problem we've had for the last 2, 3 years showed up again, one more time. Cannot finish on goal. And there's no excuses. We had plenty of good opportunities to score, and we just didn't take it. Altay Bayandi created the only big chance of the game if you are into stats. Mateus Cunha could have done a lot better. There are players in that team that would have done a lot better than Mateus Cunha in that same position. That was really disappointing. Plus, he hit the post. And then we come to Bruno Fernandes, penalty miss. Now, normally you'd be okay with the penalty miss simply because Bruno doesn't miss a lot. But something was really not right today. His run up looked off, he looked off. Ruben Amorim was talking about it after the game as well. He was busy trying to conduct play because people aren't supposed to be where they are. So he's telling them where to be, and then he got his pocket picked shortly after that penalty miss to make things worse. He had a terrible game. Everybody knows I love Bruno Fernandes, but yesterday's game was terrible. So much so to the point where I said, sub him off after halftime and see if anyone else can do better. Because I honestly don't think someone else can do better. Irrespective of what you think Bruno is, I don't think there's someone on the bench that can do a better job than him. There. So Bruno had a horrible game. That's my thoughts on Bruno. Mateus Cunha finishing really needs to improve if we are going to actually alternate him as number 9. That's just how it is. It's very different playing for United and Wolves. You tend to have less space when you're playing for Manchester United. You have to take your opportunities. You have to be quick on the draw. Finishing abilities, you might not have time to take too many touches when you have a ball like the Bayern ball. So there's room for improvement there. Bryan Mbeumo, again, for the second week in a row, he didn't look sharp, unfortunately. He just didn't look sharp. He looked off the boil again. Ahmad, again, no crosses coming in. People will say Sesko wasn't there, so it doesn't matter. But it kind of does matter because he implements crossing in his philosophy. That's why you still see Patrick Dorgu was still kind of crossing in the first half. And then I don't think Amorim was happy with him because there was this point in time in the game around 50-ish minutes where he had the ball in the penalty box and he tried to curl it across the goal from the right-hand side across to the left-hand side instead of just crossing the ball on his right foot. And minutes later, Ahmad was substituted. So all in all, another bad performance from Ahmad. Love Ahmad, but clearly cannot play that position. Whatever you think about Dallo. And he was replaced by Dallo shortly after that as well. So positives, again, Lenny Yoro, easily our best centre-back after these 2 games. He's just going stride to stride. He's getting better and better, irrespective of everyone around him. Altay Bayandi looked really bad, again, from corners. There was a big issue. As the corners were accumulating, it seemed like we were actually defending them worse instead of getting into the game in terms of set-piece defending. And Fulham played really well. They deserve to equalize. First of all, the goals. The first goal, ironically, we actually scored. It was an own goal off Muniz's back. Yoro tries to go near post. It goes off Muniz's back. It crosses over the goal. Goalkeeper can't make it. So we opened our account. Technically, we still haven't scored a goal. That was an own goal, but that was how we opened the account in the match. 73rd minute, I believe it was Shaw. Shaw found Dallo. Dallo tried to do some kind of shielding, Cruyff turn. He lost the ball. Bruno was supposed to mark ESR. I don't really blame Bruno for the goal because the cross came in and we weren't defending it even before that goal. The same cross, the similar cross from Iwobi came in before and after the goal, in fact, and we still didn't defend it well. But people are blaming Bruno to not follow ESR, but as you can see in the box, there were defenders. Matthijs de Ligt could have gotten to that ball. He could have done better to get to that ball before the ball went past to ESR. Bayandi could have done better because it was a near post goal. But irrespective, I thought Dallo is the reason that cross comes in, because if he shields the ball correctly, or if he just passes the ball, if he just takes the touch and passes the ball instead of trying to shield and be funny with it, that cross just doesn't come in. If Obi kept bypassing the midfield and he kept throwing these early crosses into the box. We stopped. We were not defending it even after, really. We were struggling to defend crosses. Period. Again, one more time, one more match, different season, same story. So the match ended up 1-1. Um, yeah, I mean, thoughts on the game were just disappointing again. Seriously, we could have done so much better. We should have probably been 2-0 up if you take the penalty and the Cunha chance at least. We just, again, didn't start our number nine. I spent so much money on him. I don't understand why we are doing that. Which basically brings me on to Ruben Amorim now. Second week in a row, we have made substitutions and actually gotten worse. His first pair of substitutions, I believe, was Ahmad and Casemiro for Dallo and Sesko, which basically put Mount in the midfield with Bruno. They wanted to see if having the legs in midfield would make up and win the ball and we'd able to move the ball faster. By the way, Mason Mount had a good game as well. Mbeumo looked off. But anyway, so it ended up being Mount in the midfield. And I was thinking to myself, how is this going to work exactly? And it didn't, because shortly after that, Mount got taken off for Ugarte. Kobe Mainu doesn't get a game again, 2 games into it. At this rate, he might not even sign this contract, because why would you? Why would you sign a new contract? Why didn't he just do Casemiro for Ugarte and keep Mount on? Because Mount was actually playing well. He didn't do that, so he made us worse. He then adds on another 2 defenders instead of trying to win the game with Xerxes and Kobe Mainu on the bench. So that showed a lack of attacking intent from Ruben Amorim, because we had the players on the bench to actually impact the game. Kobe Mainu has come on as a Ruben Amorim player off the bench and actually scored goals. Did not do it this time. So this is where I hold Ruben Amorim accountable. First of all, he keeps shoehorning people out of position, like Ahmad, like Bruno, to which draws the ire of the fan base, because the fan base just doesn't want to admit the fact that they are playing out of position or in a position they're not familiar with, in a formation they're not familiar with. So they get found out, basically. And this is 100% on Ruben Amorim. It doesn't matter if you back the manager or not. You have to hold him accountable. He keeps playing players out of position, and people expect them to do well. They will not do well. Doesn't matter the quality. It doesn't matter how technical. So they didn't do well again for another game week in a different season. And if he continues to be this stubborn, he's not going to make it past. He's basically not going to make. He's basically not going to make it past November. He's going to get sacked the same time Eric Ten Hag got sacked. Because if this continues for the next 10 game weeks, he's gone. Whether you want him to stay or whether you think the players are good enough, it doesn't matter. He's gone. He needs to show tactical and formation fluidity, whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not. If this continues, he's done, and it's not going to take too long to be done too. Who knows, if we don't beat Burnley, he could be done, because we should be beating Burnley, whatever you think about the players. We have Grimsby Town on Thursday and we have Burnley on Saturday, and then we have the international break, and he should definitely win both those games. And don't be surprised if his job is on the line if he does not win both those games, especially Grimsby Town. And I know people in the back will be thinking, in the back of the head will be thinking, man, it's Grimsby Town. No matter how bad we are, we're going to win. Maybe we're going to find out, because it's really tough to tell at this point in time. We play how we play against the Arsenal, and then how we play against Fulham. Things aren't adding up. Someone in the chat actually said, we should hire another manager to play the rest of the league and only use Ruben Amorim for top 6. That is how different the performances were between a week. So Ruben Amorim needs to buck up, or he is going to lose his job, whether you like it or not. Because you can blame the players so long, but the manager himself is stubborn and shooting himself in the foot. That needs to be acknowledged. Moving forward, I hope we can bounce back. We say that every week as United fans, but I really hope we do, just for the sake of our own mental health, if nothing else. We have 2 favorable matchups. This was a favorable matchup. We did not win, but we have 2 more favorable matchups. And hopefully we will go into the international break with some positive things to talk about. Otherwise, it's going to be a long season, and it will be a long season whether you like it or not. My closing thoughts are the positives aren't as many as they were in the first game, but you know what? This could be the rocky road we need to buy that midfielder before the window closes. Fingers crossed, guys, that we hopefully get more players in. That being said, thank you for watching again. I will see you in the next one, and hopefully, the good times are finally about to get here. Take care, guys.